Right, let's build my own version of a Strat. Battery exhausted, she says. I'm fucking exhausted. Right, welcome back everyone. It's episode 1. This is Milehouse Studios. That's my new sign there. You can get that on a keyring if you want. Can you see that in the... Of course you can see it. Can you see it, Trevor? You blind old bastard. This is an interesting one. It's for Mr. Graves. Nothing to do with where we put our dead. And he wanted a Strat. Ooh, there's been court cases. Fender have been fucking sending people to dungeons. So we can't make a Strat in the conventional sense. So I've developed my own, the Milehouse Strat. And this is the first one that's ever been done. I'll talk you through that while I look around for the template that I thought I had on the bench. Lovely. So what is this? It's an offset Strat in it. I've offset it because I've got a thing about offset bodies. I like a bulbous bottom end. It's just the way I am, just the way I'm wired. We've got a custom headstock that I've made a couple actually now in the background that haven't gone live on the channel. It's basically an aggressive Strat with a bit of an offset, but it's nothing like Fender's. So stick that up your ring pieces, Fender. Let's not try to offend Fender. So I've got a lovely Swamp Ash body from StewMac, which is lovely. It's light, it's not too bad. It feels heavy at the minute because that's a whopping great bit of wood. I ordered an oversized one that I didn't fucking need because I'm stupid. Yup! But I did need an extra long one. Story of my life. And I'm going to even quicker bandsaw it out. Right, so we're all routed out. That's nice and easy, innit? Piece of piss. I have got to, on this one, put a bendy over carve on me maple. This is the next step. I've bought a spanking piece of, probably the nicest piece of maple. I bought a few actually. But I need to rip this down to make a thinner cap. And I need to bend it over a nice comfort carve on this body. That's nice, innit? I am going to put a wallop of a comfort carve on this. I really want it to be angled and rather sexy. Did you enjoy the montage? I enjoyed making it. How was it for you? I have been asked, how come you do this on the table saw and not on the bandsaw? If you want to rip that on the bandsaw, even if she's a spanker, and that's not a bad one, your blade needs to be impeccable, your setup needs to be perfect, because it will fucking wander. And it takes ages. I'll whip it through the table saw with no guard on, but I'll go through both sides. It doesn't go through full depth, and then I can cut the last little bit off with the bandsaw in seconds. And I'll lose like an extra 4mm of material. Doesn't matter, I've got plenty to play with. Sadly, only when it comes to maple. Yeah, so it's a lot easier, it's a lot quicker. I can rip it down in seconds and bung it through the thicknesser. So my first port of call is to put both sides of this across my jointer. Doesn't matter if they're parallel, it just needs to be flat. Does that make any fucking sense? At this point, I don't really care, but let's just do it anyway. So I'll set up the table saw. We'll do a quick speedy uppy. It's a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. Ooh, I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4 up on the screen. Probably in Lego, because I know some of you are fucking stupid. Not as thick as me though, so calm yourselves down. Calm down, Trevor. Right, so before I cut cameras for the day, that is pretty much what we have ended up with. If I can get it the right way around. A nice book matched, I mean that's PRS quality in it, that's ridiculous. I've jointed the end, I'm going to glue this up now. I'm not going to film gluing it up in clamps because even though you're a dickhead in a shed, you can do that yourself. Alright, get yourself over the line, Trevor, you thick bastard. I'll see you when we're ready to glue that on the top and do some bendy stuff. That's the interesting bit, isn't it? Anyway, see you later. I've had enough for the day. I haven't. I had enough filming. I've had enough of you. All right, I'll see you in a minute.
3 days later.
Okay, so before I go home for me tea, which is what we call dinner in the West Country, in the scabby bits, it's what we call it. Here's my fucking body. Don't know what. There was no need to swear then, but I swore anyway because that's where my brain goes. Only when I'm in the workshop though, I'm very polite in the outer world. Here's my cap. It's thinned down to 5mm. It's about the limit of how thin this I want, but I've got to bend this. I've got to create a comfort carve, and that's the last job I'm going to do today. The way I do this is highly technical, so I will show you, because it's not fucking highly technical, is it? It's not highly technical. Here is the templatus, and that is my big giant comfort carve, sexual. So we transfer those marks. If you want to make a stretchy strat, my templates are in the eBay store, blah, 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 sales pitch. Marvellous, look at that. All out of the way, very, very sexy. You can do whatever you want with your comfort carve, but I do recommend if you're going to bend a bit of wood, do it on a straight line because I don't want to bend the curve. Bent ones are better, hashtag. Now, I'm going to do this on the table saw because it's really, really quick. I've got a bit of wood here that I've got multiple lines marked on. And all I'm going to do is get that line pretty much parallel with them. It don't need to be perfect, like me. Once I'm happy with that, this is roughing it really. You can do it a much better way than this, but I ain't going to bother. I'm going to get some clamps, speed clamps, which are shit. 1, 2. Now I'm going to run that through the table saw with an 8-degree angle, and I'm going to choppy a load of that off. Should we do it in slow-mo? So if my fingers do come off, you can have a proper close-up. I told you it was rough and ready, didn't I? Now, the thing is, I want to now blend this and have a really, really gentle slope. So we'll bring out Senor Shinto and we'll go a little bit Nurse Gladys. Handsome, gradual. Now a bit of 150. Marvellous. Put your ears on, otherwise you'll have fucking tinnitus like me. I can always tell when I'm about to get a cold because my ears ring like an absolute bitch. Now, where's my maple cap? I've processed this little cheeky bastard on, and I'm just going to get a feel for if that's going to bend. Maple's pretty good. You can manipulate her, all right? You can give her a good kicking when no one's looking. But what I'm going to do, just to be sure, is I'm going to get her a bit moist. Just where that comfort carve's going, and I'm also going to heat it up. I've put a 2mm in there so we can locate the bad boy with a wee little cocktail stick here. So now it's a case of glue her up, clamp it down, and then gently clamp down this little bend over, and we'll see how we get on. If it breaks, I'll be annoyed because that's an expensive bit of maple. You can tell because the grain is absolutely just fucking lovely. Chatoyance, I hear they say. That's not one of the Jackson sisters. I love assholes. Allegedly. It was Tito. Not what I heard, Jacko, you pervy fuck. Now I know what you're thinking. It's a lot of clamps, Paul. It is a lot of clamps. It's all my fucking clamps. Clamp it upside down so that when your glue squeezes out, it don't all run down the body. And you haven't got to sand it all off. Is there any round there? No? All right, thanks for that. Anyone who answered and spoke to the telly then, you're off your pickle. And I love you. Love you loads. I think there's someone outside. They're probably listening to me talk shit. For a living. Right, I'm just checking. I've got a nice tight gap because we've got faux binding on this one. Everything's got to be glued up nice. She's tight capped in. I'm leaving it there. I'm not even going to lift it. That's really heavy. That'll do. Calm yourselves. I'll see you in the morning. It'll be Saturday morning in my time, and I love a Saturday down the workshop, so I'll see you then. Ciao for now. I got a little bit creepy at the end there, didn't I? Hopefully that wasn't too much. Right, it's the next day. It's Saturday, like I think I promised in the video yesterday. Can't remember. Unclamped there, this is how we're looking. We've got our nice bendy side, everything's gone well. All hail the fucking flame maple. Maple. Works an absolute treat. We've got some tidying up to do on that body, that's fine. Now here's the weird part of this situation. There's the bottom half of my body, it's way too thick. We're gonna thickness that in a minute. Here is my neck blank. What's weird about this neck blank? It's fucking ash. You never see ash necks on guitars. Now, I wouldn't ordinarily... Well, I'd do whatever I fancy. But I'm thinking, why can't I use ash? I've just bought an ash snooker cue. It's the most stable, beautiful bit of ash. But this is basically a beautiful bit of ash. And it's heavier and more dense than cherry, and that makes amazing necks. When Brian comes to finish this guitar is going to be a satin body and neck and a glossy top. So this is going to have quite a lot of sanding sealers and all that sort of stuff to basically conceal that grain. We don't want the lumpy bumpy ash on this particular project. But I think that's going to be absolutely fine. I've given that a tickle. I've glued it up days and days ago. I've given it a tickle. It's dead flat and it's dead square. This is the universal symbol for square. Now, I've got to thickness it, which we'll do, and I'm going to thickness this whole body, which is why I bought that machine, because it's amazing. It's called Des, all right? Des Nielsen, because it chops up bodies. Fucking love it. Puts them down the drain, creates a bit of a stink, police get called, and he can't cut up people anymore. But there you go. He had a good run, didn't he? I'm going to trim off the worst of this on the bandsaw. Just nibble it, because that's too much for the router. You try and router that off, you're going to have bits blowing all over the shop. So we'll give that a quick tickle, and then I'll run it through the pattern bit. We'll shape this up. I'll sand the sides just to get her like a little bit tidy. We'll just make her fucking presentable so you could take her out and people don't think she's a basher. And then we'll thickness everything up. And then we can come back and see where we are, ready to cut a neck shape. Obviously, this is my my new custom shape that I'm going to be going for. It's very sexy. You might not like it. People are weird about headstocks, aren't they? They are weird. So here's my neck blank. It's way oversized. We should be able to get beautifully on the centre line, fit everything in. The reason I've laminated up this ash is because I've now got some nice opposing grain patterns. So we should have maximum stability. Hashtag carbon's not worth a wank. Right, so just to clear up any posterity, a bit of Demetrius Loizos on me for maggot brain. I was listening to Maggot Brains. This is the guitar that I've been tasked to make. It's basically, it's a pretty basic, it's a Strat design. The client has sent me a Goto tremolo unit, which is going to go in, so it's very blacked out. I will be using some black tuners, I think. I've got some swanky black tuners from Geico that are going to be going in. I'm using a variety of stuff now. I really like Hipshot stuff, but it's very expensive, and I think Geico, for the price, is pretty tough to beat. If you go in super budget, Wilkinson Easy Lock tuners all day long. The most consistent tuner on the fucking market. And a split peg tuner, that gets my nipples pointing fucking due east. But Geico's locking tuners, they do some lovely, lovely gear. And they're around about the right price, I think, for what they are. Links below, QVC for the masses. Now, here's me neck blank, right? I'm going to do an angled headstock because I prefer angled headstock to Fender swoopy whoopies. Because we want to be doing, I think this is going to be having a matching headstock. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not fucking sure. Have I even got enough wood for that? Can't see any disasters coming there. Now, the interesting thing on this build is going to be the inlays. I'm going to try and use my new StewMac and router template jobber and make that out of... I'm going to have to make a series of templates so I can router out the individual parts. I think that's how I'm going to do it. Or I'm going to get a decent image of a compass that looks very similar to that and laser out the wood pieces, and then create a template to cut it all out in one lump sum and then glue them all in. Look, it's going to be a fucking nightmare, innit? But I'm going to do it because that's how we roll around here, and I want to achieve it. I will achieve it. So here's my body. She's all tidied up, all right? 43.8mm thickness. Everything's sanded in, lovely. We've got some good joints. I've got a good joint around where we'd like gone swoopy whoopy. There's no chambering in this because it's swamp ash. That is super light. Queef weight, lovely, perfect. So I can do a massive carve on the back and make it super sexy and sleek. Let's just cut this into a neck shape, and I'll just take you through how I'll do it, because there are some, I've come a cropper a few times. Now, I need to cut an angle on the headstock, which is easy. I'm just going to mark where that point is, the back side of the nut, where the fretboard starts. I'm going to square around. I'll talk you through it, and then I probably won't put this in the next build series because everyone's seen it. But this is one of those fundamental bits. Now all I've got to do is measure in 15mm and just cut that off nice and square on the chop saw. That's the easy part. It's way too long, this neck blank. Always have it longer than you need it, gents, if you're lucky enough to have that much in the tank. Oh, it's cheating really, and oh, it's easy if you've got the tools. Is it? Fuck, Derek, you knob. You should see the cock-ups I've made. Now, we've got a nice angled one. You might ask yourself, why didn't I mark the front edge of the nut and start the angle? Because that's where it's going to actually start. It's because I want to give myself a little bit of room. A little bit of tickle room on the end there. Something to chop off. Now, the important thing is, I've got me line. That's easy now, yeah? Lovely jubbly. Find the nut you're going to use, and I'm going to use a black one. Not a fucking flesh-coloured one. But we'll only tend to use Geico nuts. They're really consistent and well made, but I will be getting a black one. I've run out of black ones. I'll have to ask him to send me another one. So here's an interesting point. I'm full of these. Interesting points, mate. I'm not. I'm fucking boring. I'm going to put my ruler up there.
What is this, amateur hour?
Me rule. It's a rule, Paul. It's not a ruler, you prick. Don't get that wrong. Don't put an apostrophe where it's not needed. Jesus Christ, they'll be out. Build a wicker man. I'm going to really accurately mark where that line is, where that slope starts. I'm going to put one line across there. I'm going to use the thickness of my nut. I'm going to put another line there, and that, basically that's not an accurate line. That's my accurate line, so that's the one I need to find. I'm going to square around. Now, oddly, I do everything from the underside. I prefer to come round from the anus. You know if your timber's nice and square, look, because when you mark around, you should meet up. There you go. Look at that. It's like a long-lost couple. So now from the underside, and remember, don't do a reverse headstock. I'm not fucking Rob Chapman. I'm going to find my centre line again, which is quite hard, actually, because this is such a nice join. Apart from down that end, it's absolute dog shit. But we're chopping that off. So I knew, don't panic. Oh, that looked like dog shit, Trevor. Did you see that? I might write him an email and say he's dog shit. I had someone email the other week and said, I really like your videos, but if you're going to insist on 3 or 4 part series and I've got to wait a whole month for a guitar to be finished, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to watch. I'm not going to watch if you carry on the way you're going. Fuck, what a bellend. Tell me you're a mung piece without telling me you're a mung piece. There's a 42mm nut on this guitar. Now, I've lined that up. Next stage, easy, clamp it before you screw it, because you're going to put a pilot in, it's going to have a little wibbly wobble, it's going to be a bad day. Clamp it down. I've got speed clamps left over from my days as an actual carpenter, a wood basher, and it's the only time I fucking use them, really. They're shit, and they're not very good for guitar making, but they do for things like this. Now, tiny pilots, I don't mean like 4-foot men. Interesting fact, right? Here's an interesting fact. It's another thing you can fuck up on. And I have done this. 9mm MDF, when it's got holes and stuff in it, I can bend that. I can bend it that way like a banana. And your router will. So you have to put extra screws in on your centre line. Just little ones. And I'm also going to be putting one in my headstock. Next important thing. Something that I've got wrong so many times. Use an 18mm screw, a 3/4. This is a 40mm blank. It's going through 9mm there. I'm only going to have 9mm of screw in the wood, and I'm going to be chopping all of that out, so you're not going to see it. Now look at this. That's screwed in 4 places along the shaft. We screwed it on the shaft, right? Some men like that. Weirdos. I can still push that all over the shop. If you don't put another screw here, and bear in mind, we've got 15mm. That's what our headstock's going to be doing. So if we get a screw in about here, no one's going to see that. All right, we're chopping all that away. There, nice and secure. Lovely jubbly, piece of piss. Just prepare for the fact that you're an idiot, all right? Hold it that way. That's where my neck's going to go. Have I got the orientation correct? Yes, I have. It's not upside down. That's how I ended up doing reverse headstocks if I use a PRS shape. Purely by accident, doing upside down routing. I actually prefer it. It makes me stand out. It doesn't make me stand out. But it's, yeah, happy accident. A bit like my birth. So I can take this off now. We're going to draw around it. You asked for more specific instructions, all right? I'm trying to balance being a cock and actually showing you what I do, because I did tend to get a bit blasé. It's hard. YouTube's the Wild West. No one teaches you how to do it. And if you don't do it your way, you won't last. Now, something I always do now on a nice flat surface when I've done that is I just get me neck. I just want to get rid of any chatter. Much better, much better. Back on the bench, Dave. Let's go. And I think that is your fill for today's episode. It was back to basics. I'm not going to cover that on the next series. Coming up in this series on episode 2, I'm going to be doing the inlays. It's going to be all about inlays on the fretboard. I'm going to be trying it on some practice fretboards and then getting that to work, and then we'll get that glued on and probably shaped up or whatever. And then episode 3, because I think this is just going to be a 3-parter, I'm going to be colouring the top, getting that how I want, faux binding, get everything finished on the body, a little bit of sanding sealer, and then I'll be giving it to Dangerous Brian. So fair play. It's going to be a great little 3-parter, a custom model. I've got a few people that I've lined up to make custom models for over the next year or so. Hopefully it's going to be sexy. But reach out to Chris Buck, because I sent him a text the other day and the fucker ignored me. I thought he might be tempted by my all Carina fucking Revstar. Look at that dirty cod piece. Glow in the dark custom inlays. Holy shit balls. This is for me, for the Milehouse Studios P90s. Special Wave Edition. Warman, hit 'em up. Anyway, ciao for now. Special waves and all that bollocks.